versus TSG. We start off with the red Protoss on the top left-hand side from Jin Green Wings. This is sOs. Up against the blue Protoss on the bottom right-hand side, Cloudy. As we get this underway, a couple of people asking about why we don't see necessarily as much viewership on this tournament as we should and stuff, and talking about promoting it. I honestly think it's just very difficult to promote it because what can you do to promote it outside of, I tweet about it as much as I can. It's not like an English back tournament, right? Like, I am the English stream, so outside of me tweeting about it, outside of, teams tweeting about it and so on, and post to Reddit, I mean, I can only post to Reddit so often. There's not really much else we can do. Like, I thought it would get more viewership as well because everyone was really excited about it. They got voted on our StarCraft a lot. People were talking about it. There's a fantasy league, but yeah, people not so hyped. Anyways, getting this set up and ready to roll. A couple of Adepts and a couple of Stalkers on the way out on each side of the map. And we've seen the two Adepts from sOs going to be coming through here. And a few Stalkers and Cloudy about halfway done as well. So continuing on with this at the moment. As you do just see the Warp Gate starting up from both. So yeah, Warp Gate coming through. There's two more Adepts again from sOs. He's playing very aggressively already. This is the first time sOs has played in the league, by the way. Last week we saw Mara and herO coming out for some fun. This week sOs Trap will be coming out alongside Rex. Two Adepts coming down the bottom right hand side. We do just see the Stalker or two poking away at that pylon, which sOs is using to be able to cancel and get into the main. That's annoying because now two Adepts should get quite a few probe kills. Not sure why they went up to the top side so heavily. Well, only gets two kills, and we'll get one more now. I don't think this Adept survives long enough to get one more shot off, so 4 probes. Not the end of the world then from Cloudy, actually. Not that bad at all, as you see the Stalkers now will push across the map. What's up, Lumberjack? Thank you so much for the 5-month resub. So you see those Stalkers coming in towards the upper left-hand side and trying to see what they can do. Maul being trying to burst out on the main base. There's obviously one base play at the moment in the PvP. This mirror matchup always does get a little bit crazy with a lot of Depths of game from sOs going to get into the main base. They're going to go straight after those probes, so they'll pick up one. There's two. Once again, already damage being done. 3 workers killed and counting for the moment. Now it goes up to 4, make that 5. Still a lot of damage done, actually. These two Adepts are just going crazy. 7, 8 workers. No shield battery either, so one Adept will still deal damage as well towards the end here. We'll get one more probe, maybe even 2 more. Oh, hits the Stalker instead, so a little bit of a loss. But 10 workers killed. sOs is already up by 14 workers. What a position to be in. What a position to be in, as we're going to be seeing the Immortal, the Stalkers, setting up there, already dealing some damage to the shield battery pylon in this position, taking some hits as well now. Stalkers are going to be pushed backwards here, and again, there's a couple more showing up also. Down the low ground again, the Stalkers getting pushed away pretty easily as another Stalker or 2 showing up, and we are going to be seeing again this army of Cloudy continue to press forward. That Immortal continues to back away. More Prism building up in the main base from sOs as we see the few Stalkers coming around to the top side. The Stalkers pressing forwards, already going to be shutting this down, and that's going to be a good shutdown for Prism. And that's all Cloudy really had going for himself. Losing the units as well isn't exactly so pretty for him. sOs will pick up the first jump into this now and see what happens. It's to the top right-hand side. A blue Protoss, who has his team down a map already. This is Cloudy. Up against the red Protoss on the bottom left, it is, of course, sOs. Now guys, you gotta remember, I think Jin came into this tournament as heavy favorites, but I still stand by the fact that I'm not sure they really should be like the super heavy favorites that people want them to be. I mean, yes, even if you send out, you look at their lineup today, right? sOs and Trap. Well, sOs versus Cloudy, you expect sOs to win, right? And then you have, Rex versus Solar. You probably expect Solar to win. And that means that you're basically putting down her's success in this series on Trap versus herO. If the first if the first 4 maps go the way you're expecting. And that really puts us into a very weird spot where if herO just 2-0s Trap, boom, like that isn't too impossible. All of a sudden, you know, herO have lost another series. So even if you field strong players here, the way the format works, you're not necessarily just guaranteed to win. I actually really like this format for giving the underdog teams a bit of a chance, because with some good matchups, you definitely can have some upsets and some cool stories as well. So really loving this. More so than like All Kill, where I feel like if herO like drop the first 2 maps, they send out sOs, and if he gets most of the work done and then they get forced into a 4-player, they just send out herO every time. Then, you know, yes, herO are huge favorites, but with the current format, I don't think that's quite the case. Just going to be seeing that probe moving around in the main, and we do have just a little bit of scouting information for sOs. I mean, Cloudy looking for some information too. sOs did bring another probe forwards though, so it is going to be a bit of a proxy here. So sOs going to bring the aggression in game number 2 as well, after already a very aggressive game number 1. Let's get this set up again, this ready to roll. You just see the couple probes moving around a little bit here. We'll see what's going on, looking to see what's happening. There's Stargate going to be the choice from sOs, so send up into this nice and early. Let's see what Cloudy can do about it. Now, he is building 2 Stalkers. There's a shield battery in the mineral line as well, so he is going to be protected against just a single Oracle. So he's going to be protected against just a single Oracle here. He's going to be seeing more Stalkers moving into the main. This probe heading down to the bottom right-hand side, and there it is, Oracle being chrono boosted out. So Oracle being chrono boosted here, going to be heading across into the main in the next few moments, and again a couple more Stalkers from Cloudy on the way out too. You can see this probe nibbling away at the pylon. Not being done so far here as the Twilight Council drops down into the main base as well. Let's get this up and running. Twilight on each side of the map. 2 more gateways going to drop down. Mostly just really waiting to see what this Oracle ends up doing. Not a lot. One Oracle will not be able to achieve anything. So we'll just use for map control, because the Stalkers will get rid of this pylon. There will be no second Oracle here. I'm just going to be seeing the Oracle heading up towards the upper right hand side and seeing what's going on. Being chrono boosted out at the moment, and again just going to see the couple of Stalkers heading down back home, so nothing too crazy just yet. Again, just this Oracle keeping track of what's happening. Extra gateways finishing. 3 gates in the Nexus. I mean, Nexus on the other side of the map, just waiting for the extra gateway basically to finish up for Cloudy here. That's all that's really missing. What's up, Raven Madness? Thank you so much for the 113 bits. Do appreciate it. Don't forget, guys, if you want to cheer bits, if you cheer with the Bleed Purple bits, I believe it's still active. If you cheer with the Bleed Purple bits, Twitch will add 10% of your cheer as additional bits. So if you cheer 1,000 bits, they'll add 100 bits for free. So basically, if you cheer $10, they'll add $1 to free to the stream. If you cheer $100, they'll add $10 to the stream. If you've got some bits, whether it's on my channel or someone else's, make sure you cheer them with that Bleed Purple. Give us some extra money to the content creators you want to support. Nice little shutdown here from sOs coming into the center of the map, picking away at this gateway. Stalker's blinking forward from Cloudy, able to jump on top of that Stalker as well. And there is a cancel on the remaining structure here, so Cloudy not going to be able to do much. Oracle is still looking for some options. And there's no shield battery on that natural. Oh, that's a stasis ward. That's a hell of a stasis ward as well. With Blink done, of course. Blink straight on top of this here. Oh, Cloudy is in some trouble because he lost a couple Stalkers and he's probably going to lose a few more as well. Those Stalkers gathering up together. Already sat in a surround. Obviously, wherever Cloudy blinks, sOs can blink straight after as well. sOs is dancing a little bit, waiting for them to come out. And it's going to be an attempt to recall. Okay, probably the better choice, but still loses 3. I mean, he was probably going to lose 4 if he didn't recall, so, man, that's just a tough situation. What a stasis to be caught in. Tough little moment here as sOs pushing across the map towards the upper right-hand side. What's up, Dovenwolf, by the way? Thank you so much for the Twitch Prime sub for 22 months. Thank you very much indeed. Yes, some love in the chat for Dovenwolf as Stasis Ward in the corner here. Maybe going to try and use something a little bit funky again. Blinks the Stalkers up. Going to come straight through, and again, just instantly will be able to find some probes. A pylon as well, empower that Twilight Council. Going to pull away into this corner, and the Stasis Ward is here. Oh my god, it's going to catch the Immortal. That's actually just crazy. Like, sOs is just killing so much. Blinks on top of these Stalkers. They blink away, but now he's just going to get another few probes. He can get the Robo Facility if he wanted to. He's actually going to go for the Twilight. Stasis is going to be fading sooner. Another Stasis starting to build up. This Stalker ran all the way from the low ground. This time one Stalker blinks on top, and just one Stalker obviously not too crazy, but now he blinks down to the low ground. Even more probes can go down here, and sOs, a masterclass of PvP so far. You're going to see that Stasis being set off again. I love this. Just all these Stasis was very good usage of the Oracle, which wasn't able to do anything else earlier. Again, the Stalkers, the Immortal, hanging out here in the center. More gates on the way out. We are going to be seeing charge in +1 building up from sOs too. So transition from him, getting established, getting ready to go. Glad he just decides to add on even more gateways. Lost the Twilight Council, will not have resonating glaives on his side. Will not even be able to build up charge here. It's just building gates in the Prism, and I mean, he is rebuilding a couple probes as well, but I really feel like he's going to attack and just... I mean, I feel like if he doesn't win the game, he's going to be like, well, yeah, this is kind of just done. Cloudy gathering up down on the natural. Going to see this one Oracle coming up around the top side. He's just out of the frontier, charge on the way up, and one attack as well. And there's 2 extra gateways in the natural expansion as well. Cloudy heading down to the bottom left. So they're starting to move out onto the map too. Just going to see this Oracle is coming forward. It's going to be able to drop down that Stasis Ward here. So Stasis Ward going to be placed. And again, this army of Cloudy coming free. So be very careful of those Stasis Wards. Might just try and get up into the main, but I mean, sOs already moving forwards to kind of greet this, see where it is. Stasis is set up by just a single Stalker, so Cloudy learned from some of his mistakes. Here you go, Cloudy pressing forward. Stalkers, Immortals coming into position. Archon getting set up as well. Stalkers blinking in the main. Force field's available, but the Archon can break the force field down, so it's not going to be able to be a real block. Stalkers blink on top of the Warp Prism. It goes down. 2 Immortals are just not fighting at all. And it's going to be seeing the Stalker here able to push these units away. Nicely done by sOs, right? I mean, he just had to make this defense happen, and now that he has, he's going to be able to keep himself in a pretty strong spot as pushing forward Stalkers and putting himself into a good little position in the middle of the map. Everything looking good. Dovenwolf, extremely generous as always. The 3,000 bits, and uses that bleed purple to add 300 more. Got some love in the chat for Dovenwolf, guys, showing us a perfect example of how you can add 10% of your bits cheat as extras. So thank you so much, Dovenwolf. Do appreciate it. Improvement SE2 of the 185 adds an extra 18 as well. Thank you so much for the bits, guys. Again, thank you so very much. As we're now going to be seeing the Stalkers continuing down the bottom side here, and we do just have this army. But they kind of come in from a bit of a different direction. Stalkers coming around. Force field will be placed, an Immortal and Archon will be pushing down the Stalkers as well. Stalkers are going to be chased away. To chase this down, and again, Stalker's just going to be chased all the ways away. I mean, Cloudy just has absolutely nothing left here. He's trying to build up Disruptors, which, I mean, again, as a comeback mechanic are probably the best he could go for in PvP. But in general, sOs is just playing an absolutely pristine game of StarCraft 2. Everything he's done has been pretty much exactly, like, it's not just been how he wants it to be, it's been, like, above and beyond what he wants it to be. With Stasis Ward's being very effectively used, good defense in the main base when his opponent tried to elevate or in sentry block. Disruptor doesn't hit anything at all, and so the hopes and dreams of Cloudy somehow turning this back around and starting to die here. Huge warp in from sOs in the main base, and some Immortals as well to back this up. He's taking that fight down on the low ground. He's chasing down the Disruptor. These couple of Immortals are surrounded by Zealots. They have nowhere to run to. The main base is again just continue to be killed. The Warp Prism will just continue warping in here. Disruptor gets a few units. The second one will get a couple kills as well, but nothing significant. nothing to bring TSG this map back. And supporting it today. It's been a while. We haven't really had, I mean, we're what, like 26 days into April, 27? We've only had something like 6, 7, 8,000, 9, 10. We've only had like 10,000 bits this month. I think that's probably our worst month for bits in a very long time. So, been a bit slow in donations and bits this month, but it's also been a bit slow on the stream with having to take some personal time out. Anyways, let's get to the StarCraft 2. Game 3 of Jin Egg Green Rings versus TSG. Actually, give me just a moment, guys. I just want to update the stream title quickly, trying to make sure it's always correct so people know which players are playing for which teams when they come into the stream. Perfect. Alright, so, on the top left-hand side, our blue Zerg player is going to be Rex, representing Jin Egg Green Rings here. And to the top right-hand side, our red Zerg player is going to be Solar from TSG. Sup, Filthy Rig, thank you so much for the 2,185 bits. It's like I'm paying myself. That Twitch staff guy taking his money from Twitch and he's putting it back into Twitch. It's an endless cycle. Thank you so much for the 2,000 bits. Holy shit. This turned into a bit of a crazy bit train. Thank you so much, guys. Get some love in the chat, please. Thank you so much for being so awesome. We are missing in-game music, so let me fix that. Press that button. First +1 melee here from Rex on year 0. Nice large map, so looking to play a nice mobile composition. No link speed either from Solar, so it looks like he wants to bypass that to go into Evo Chamber, Roach Roar, and Wolof. So Rex will be up against pretty fast Roaches and will be able to probably deny this third base of his opponent. The thing is, from what Solar's seen, he's not seen any links. He doesn't have any reason to expect this to be link speed. So this could be Rex catching him a little bit off guard. Getting this set to go. See +1 missiles starting up on each side, so this is going to be a +1 missiles as well from Rex. He is going to go into those Roaches pretty soon after these Zerglings, although right now already is making a lot of lings. I know that +1 missiles is just to kind of fake out this idea at the front even. Maybe, because he isn't mining any more gas, right? So probably look to cancel that +1 missiles and just keep stacking these lings. Really wants these lings to be a huge surprise factor for Solar when they head across the map with ling speed and +1 melee. I really hope to catch him off guard. Solo doesn't have much gas either, so he doesn't have that many Roaches on his side. He's just droning and droning and droning. And Solo has no real way to kind of check what's going on here. He's checked in the main base, sees a lack of a gas, but that's about it. Doesn't see anything on the front apart from an upgrade, missile upgrade. Now these Zerglings are going to start heading across the map. The Queen's already pushing the Overlord a bit further away. It's been hidden for as long as possible. And here we go, the Lings flooding across the map. Solar will complete the wall off on this high ground here, gets a Queen in there as well. At the very least, Solar is probably going to lose this third base. All of these Zerglings continuing through. We're going to see that Roach going to be surrounded. Going to go down pretty quick. Obviously, do you keep breaking through this front door, or what do you do, actually? The best decision for Rex. I feel like at some point you have to come back and kill this third hatchery. Although making more Zerglings, that's fairly likely to happen anyways. Okay, he's going to pull over here now. So he's actually going to come forward with these Roaches. There's a lot more Lings being made, by the way. Rex still only on 24 drones. Trying to make this happen with this flood of Zerglings. Backs away from the hatchery, pulls away, maybe trying to bait these units a bit further forward. Going to go and pull this around again. Roach is going to be able to hold on here, though, and those Lings aren't going to be able to break through just yet. A lot of the Roaches are red and orange now, but it just feels like there's not enough Zerglings to really make this happen. That's the problem with the fact it's year 0, right? It takes a very long time for these Lings even to move across the map, even though they have Ling speed. It takes a long time for them to come across the map. As they run in over here now, we're going to be seeing this hatchery taking a couple of shots. More Lings setting up as well, and here we go. Actually, we'll find a few of these Roaches out on their own. Looks like this hatchery will in the end fall down. Solar has some Roaches. It will not be enough to save the hatchery. It's not quite in position, so Solar's still in a pretty reasonable spot, right? Up 13 workers, up a huge amount of army supply. The biggest threat is just those, Roaches pushing across the map, and then what is Rex going to do? Well, maybe counterattack, and that's maybe what Solar will be afraid of, and that's why he'll just sit back and instead build up into +2 missiles, Roach speed as well before he attacks, and just sort of chill out for a few moments as Rex's own third base is only just on the way up now. What's up, Nidjex LMAO? Thank you so much for the 500 bleeding purple bits. Also, again, adds that 10% extra for 550. Thank you so much, and earned yourself a 1k bit badge. Thank you so much. all your support over the course of all the streams. Appreciate it. Give us the love in the chat for Najax. Thank you so much for the bit train, guys. It's awesome. We haven't had something like that on the stream all month, I feel. Thank you so much. You are so generous. Thank you for making today an even more beautiful day than it already was. Like I was saying, I'm in a way better mood today than I have been for a couple of weeks, and life's starting to clear up, and things aren't going wrong anymore. Things are improving, so yeah, all's good in the world, and you guys are helping to make today even better. So thank you so very much. As this game obviously just taking a couple of slower moments. Let's get back into it, because as Rex plays catch up here, he is going into the lair, and I wonder if he ever intends to play those roaches. I mean, he did finish +1 missiles, so I guess he will commit into them a fair amount. Obviously, the lack of the lair means he's missing roach speed. It also means he's missing the ability to go into +2 missiles. So while he does start +1 carapace, Solo also has +1 carapace building with the +2 missiles at the same time. Excuse me, I've got a couple of hiccups. Let me grab a drink quick. That should do it. Alrighty. So, the lab build and Rex is still playing. I mean, it's kind of weird because I feel like it wasn't a disastrous start from Rex, but it just didn't quite do enough, right? And so he's definitely that little bit behind where, okay, now he takes a few worker lead, but he's down 30 army supply. So I was just able to hold this off so well, and I mean, I think that's the thing. You kind of need to break through into the natural expansion to be successful with this, but obviously that's not been the case. Not been the case at all. As we get this set up and ready to roll. Across the map, and Overseer going to be taking a few hits from this Queen, so Queen going to be able to push this Overseer out into the center. Here we go from Solos. +2 and +1 finishes. He's going to push across the map. And again, I don't know what Rex does right away to really hold off of this. He is going to attempt to counterattack, but there's some roaches left at home. Solo is prepared for this. Well, that does mean he doesn't have as many roaches in advantage over on this side of the map as he might kind of, you know, as the supplies may suggest, I suppose. Going to push in. Definitely a bit of a better concave initially for Rex. And Solo's roaches still not even able to fight as... I mean, it's just the fact he's also down an upgrade though, Rex. In fact, he's down 2 because he also doesn't have +1 carapace for a few more seconds. More roaches now starting to show up and reinforce. Lings do still counterattack, but more roaches showing up to clean those up, and it's kind of close over here. Solo is holding on because of those upgrades. As Rex gets those faster reinforcements, definitely helps him out a lot. As Solo gets reinforcements here, that's going to be the problem. Rex will not have enough, and well, TSG get one map back on the... Let's jump into this and see what happens as... We do have to the bottom left-hand side, looking to tie this series up 2 games apiece. Our red Zerg player from TSG. This is Solar. Up against the blue Zerg in the top right-hand side, we have got Rex representing the generic Green Wings. Every team has to send out at least one Chinese, Taiwanese, Hong Kong, Macau player in their roster every week. Jin picked up Rex as that player for them in this league, so he will be sent out in that as that kind of representative. So that's what we're seeing. Who is this? They are moving fast. That's the boy. Do you have a crank we can jump on? No. Okay. I'll just observe myself for the early few moments. You know what? Let's jump on an SPU boys can for a few moments here. As we get this ready to go, Solar is. And then, if he can tie this up, kind of the first part of his job today done, we might come out for the ace as well if needed. Really puts a lot of pressure on the PvP though. What a PvP that'll be. Remember, TSG so far in the league undefeated. Not yet dropped a series, whereas on the other side of things, you've got Jin, who are actually second last place in the league. They've won a series, but they are not... So then, you know, they've won a series. There's only one team that hasn't won a series at all, which is Newbie. They play tomorrow, by the way. And that means that Jin kind of like, if they don't win here, they're still going to stick around the bottom of the league with a 1-1 scoreline. Again, every team other than Newbie haven't won a series so far. Tomorrow's match is, by the way, pretty sick. Invictus Gaming versus Player 1 and Ocean Gaming versus Newbie. Definitely check in for that. Should be some really awesome matches coming up. We do see the hatcheries finishing up here. The early games are being established, and again, nothing really crazy to talk about yet. It's been a pretty passive first few moments. Jin Air is guaranteed minus 2 points each week, practically. Not really. I mean, we saw, for example, in the first week of Psystorm Gaming versus Newbie, Sakura took down Deer 2-0. Upsets can happen. Players can prepare. And, you know, in a prepared situation, you're more likely to win those maps than you are, like, out in the, you know, out in the tournament where you just suddenly match up against them. It's definitely possible. I mean, and also you got to think Jin Air could also end up with Rex against another one of the Chinese players. So that could obviously be pretty big for them. But obviously, if he doesn't end up against them, you've got to expect that Jin Air's players are also going to be favored against the Chinese player of their opposing team. So it creates a very interesting dynamic where upsets actually have a huge role to play in this format. It's fun. I really do like this format. I've really come to like it. We get this set up and ready to roll. Lair, Rotron, Eva Chamber, all the way from Rex. He bypassed his Zerglin speed this game. Solo was building his own Zerglin speed, but did decide to cancel it. Just going to play Stranger Roaches as well, so no aggression from either player. Solo already getting a little bit, kind of getting away with this though, because he was building Ling speed and then decided not to. His lair is later, but he has a much faster third base. Now defensively, this is fantastic, because you don't need a lair for Roach speed. When it comes to defending, you just don't need Roach speed to defend. Yes, it's a nice little addition, but yeah, no, unless you're running across the map, Roach speed is just, you know, it's nice, but it's not, it's not a necessity. So Solo will be able to take a third base already, and be fine defensively. And I kind of think he's in a pretty good spot because of that. Good little response to what his opponent was up to. There's a lot of movement going on here on that camera. Let's do some of my own observing. Just being lazy in the first couple of minutes. You know, take advantages where you can. Well, do you just see the Roach speed coming up there? The +1 missiles as well. That lair from Solar is about to complete, so it's going to be done in a moment or two. And, well, now the Overseer on the way out here from Solar as well. So building that up, getting that rolling. Changeling from Solar, going to be pressing down into the bottom left-hand side. Queen, pretty quick to pick that off, though. Stretch dropping down the third base. The third hatchery on the right-hand side is also going to be finishing in a moment with Rex, so he's already just down in work because he's building a lot of roaches, but I don't see a world in which he hits an attack where he's going to catch Solo off guard, right? Solo's on 50 drones, yes, but he's also building a good amount of roaches. He's got the defensive position. I don't see what Rex does to break through Solo here, so I just feel like, again, just Solo, because he went Ling speed and reacted to what his opponent was doing, just got that slight upper hand in general and has been a bit greedy, and that is really, so far, seeming to pay off for him. Going to cross an Overseer already here. Going to see a few roaches. I think Rex is realizing probably time for him to pull back just a little bit. Roach is pulling all the way back over to the right hand side, and we've seen Roach speed about to finish up as well here from Solar. In last week's action, Rex actually played some very aggressive builds, so interesting to see him going more into the mid game this time. Last week he played 12 pool drone pull spine crawler rush, and he played, I think, the 13-12 in the first game against Impact. So obviously again pushed all the way down to the bottom side of the map as he's just going to be taking a quick turn and maybe going into a bit of a different direction. Rex with all of these roaches gathering up together, maybe wanting to press through into the middle here shortly as, again, Overlord's roaches gathering up from Solar. As Carapace going to be finishing in a moment too. Obviously flies on in towards the natural expansion. We are just going to be seeing the a little bit of a scout here for Solo. Just keeping track of what Rex is up to, and the answer is just building roaches. Rex only a couple of workers behind Solo, but in general Solo has had that lead in the game in terms of income. So he's got that advantage on his side. And now we see 4 of those roaches, and the Overlord going to start heading up to the top side. Tunnel and Claws building up on the Rotron here. +2 missile attack about to finish, and the Burrow upgrade coming through on the natural expansion. So getting this set up, getting this rolling. This Overseer going to be pushed away by the couple of Queens as well. Tunnel and Claws on the way out still. And 9 roaches, 2 ravages, all coming into play. Solar going to start heading out through the center of the map. You're just going to see those overlords going to spread themselves out a couple of different directions. And yeah, 2 more ravages also morphing in the back here. A couple of throws of bars going to be able to hit that overlord, and a couple more again will be able to pick this off once more. So overlord does go down. Rex will be supply blocked, and Solar pressing forwards, maxed out. A little bit later on the +2 attack upgrade, as Rex has just now started to lean close, so Solar will have that a lot sooner, and will already be able to start up this harassment as he doesn't quite get this overlord kill. It just survives. First few roaches burrowing up and getting ready to start running by into some bases here. Solar's going to put his main army down on the bottom right-hand side. Rex is going to see those roaches with the Overseer, but does he pay enough attention? Doesn't look like he will. Okay, there he goes. Pulls some units away. Dodges back from the cross of bars, but a little late. Takes a couple of those right in the face. Well, those roaches running in to deal with this over here, but the burrow comes down. Now Rex is actually going to have to deal with that again. Sitting in cross of bars. His roaches are just getting beaten down so heavily before real damage is even being done. Rex crosses up this ramp here. A couple more Ravagers thrown down across the Val. Roaches here from Solar. We'll do a little bit more again. These Roaches up into the main base, ready to unburrow and start picking away at a few more of those drones. Solar continuing to fight. His army supply is just generally increasing. He's staying maxed out overall, while Rex has fallen further behind. Obviously, losing those drones isn't helping. This Roach harass is picking Rex apart, and now Rex, what can he do? A couple of Vals, kills an Overseer at least. It's something. He will hold on, but he's still got roaches in the main / natural that are popping up and getting kills. And these ones can pop up again and get another couple of drones if you want to. You can just keep them for a little while. Yeah, pop up, get a couple of drones, then burrow again. Why not? Burrows up straight away. There is 1 roach or 2 roaches in the main base going to be hunted down by those few roaches too. Roaches and Ravagers here for Solar pressing into the middle of the map. More corrosive files dropping down. A lot of roaches from Rex through the bottom side. Far right, these roaches actually getting to work here and picking up a few of these drones already. Getting quite a little bit done there as these roaches are going to unburrow. And then roaches and Ravagers here from Solar. I'm able to push this back now as you see a couple more of these roaches getting picked away at. Solar does have the army to push across the map with and is going over to the right-hand side. Rex is at least maxed out again, right? But he still needs to take some good fights. And so far with the plays against the corrosive bars hasn't been brilliant, as we see. Roaches and Ravagers trying to press up the ramp here. So the corrosive bars dropping down, and now just going to be seeing Solar just out on the front. Rex taking quite a bit of damage. Oh my god, Solar's just going to take a way better fight. I mean, obviously Rex having to push up the ramp isn't pretty. Solar's just doing what he needs to do, and now he can pick away at the Roach Warren as well. Holds off this army with just half of his army, and Rex knows it. So the GGs, we are going to be tied up 2-2 in this best of 7. It is a deciding matchup to see how things go, as everything's tied up 2-2 heading into it. In the bottom right hand side, our red Protoss player is trapped. Against the blue Protoss on the top left from TSG, we have got herO. Alright, so game number 5 of the series, all tied up. So not going to have a result until the end of these 2 maps, and obviously we could get an ace match if herO wins one map and Trap wins the other. There's already a low ground 2-gate wall-off here from herO, so a little bit funky there. As this probe has actually been very annoying though. He's actually starting to kill this pylon, so Zealot actually has to be made to help defend that almost. I mean, Cybercore's about to finish, time to just cancel that and build Stalkers or Adepts instead, and it will be Stalkers from both here to begin with. So low ground wall-off kind of allows herO to set up a nexus without anything being able to run in and kind of attack into him. Now it also means he doesn't have to worry about Adepts running into his base or anything. It does mean that everything is going to be out on the map for him for a little while though. He's not going to be able to bring those units back into his base, so it's a little bit risky in that regard. So there's a couple, different ways to look at this so far, as those first 2 Stalkers will pop out, and because of that, we'll start to make a move down to the bottom right-hand side of the map here. So, a couple Stalkers heading down to the bottom right. Actually, we'll run into 1 Stalker of Trap already, just ahead of the other, so unfortunately Trap Stalker is going to be chased down a little bit. probe here, actually trying to block and get some damage done as well. herO gets a lot of damage done. I mean, 2 more Stalkers are about to pop as Trap is forced up to the high ground. Meanwhile, Trap is building a robo facility proxied and another gateway, so playing an extremely aggressive one base. Warp Prism, an Immortal maybe even. It's a robo at home from herO as well, with a 3rd gateway too, so both of these players are playing the same structures, just Traps are out on the map. Honestly, so far, herO is still winning out this micro war when it comes to Stalker versus Stalker over here. And he is just about going to lose an extra Stalker, but only for a moment. He comes through and he actually gets the Stalker advantage himself. So herO, looking good at the moment now, reinforcing with a couple of Adepts. Trap will Chrono Boost an Immortal, but it's a Warp Prism right away from herO. And rallying that Warp Prism across the map. Okay, now he isn't. I was wondering if it was going to run straight into these structures over here, but now it's rallied into the base instead. 2 Adepts and 2 Stalkers from herO. Starting to come out into the middle. We see a probe moving across as well, going to start nibbling down that pylon. Couple of warp-ins coming through, and just going to be seeing these couple of sentries finishing up in the next few moments as well. So a couple of Stalkers and Sentry hanging out as we do see the Stalker of herO coming around the top side. herO's going to spot this proxy, so now he's going to lose a Stalker, but knows what's here. Obviously means that he probably wants to head back home and play defensively because his opponent's units get across here so quickly. Immortal's obviously very powerful. His own Immortal is going to be done, and it's just going to be a weird kind of standoff. Which means that herO should be in the better spot, right? Because his structures are not exposed out on the map. Although his structures are on the low ground exposed, and that's 2 gates in power. That's actually a pretty huge deal. herO might be in some trouble, actually. Well, I like that. Powers it up with the Warp Prism. That's actually pretty sick. herO will still be supply blocked though as the Warp Prism chases that Stalker all the way over to the right side. These units of Trap finally starting to move across. They were, for whatever reason, over in the corner here after they picked off that pylon. herO going to try and come in, but there's 2 pylons on this base. There's no way there's going to be any unpowering going on. And there's a couple of units coming through and just trying to chase that Warp Prism down, get a few shots up. The Warp Prism is a huge part of this in terms of micro capability and what it adds to the army. Now we're going to see the Warp Prism of Trap being chased as well. herO now turned around as extra units show up. Next Immortal of Trap is out as well, also about to join this army as a couple of sentries get walked in from Trap's side. So he'll have a couple of force fields of his own to use. And herO's still in a bit of danger if he loses these 2 gateways. So he has to be very careful about that because the Immortals can just sit on the low ground and chunk away at those. Starting to deal some damage, a couple of force fields down. The Warp Prism not there to save the first Stalker, which got picked off. Good damage done as well, by the way. The 2 Immortals of Trap dealing a lot of damage to that first Immortal of herO, although he is now going to be down an Immortal. And doesn't have another in production. Continue just for gateway units. Good force field. And we're now going to see the Warp Prism coming through to try and be a bit of an answer to that force field, but one of the gateways lost, so Trap is starting to overwhelm in terms of production. So an attempt to break down the ramp from herO, and it is going to be a bit of a micro war. Force fields definitely making a bit of a better fight for Trap initially, though, even though he's down an Immortal. Now he's lost another Immortal, though, so he's still down one, even though he's gotten a kill as well. He kills another. herO not able to lift up in time. Some good back and forth here at the moment. There's a depth in the front being extremely tanky. The Immortal here from Trap now maybe in some trouble. The Warp Prism fired on by the Stalkers. The Stalkers will chase it, will kill it. Immortal can't micro any longer. It's still a pretty close fight here as the Immortal goes down on one side. Oh my gosh, Trap is just going to kill this Immortal. He's got a Warp in from the right hand side. Another Immortal about to show up. So Immortal comes in, the Stalker though goes down. herO and Trap are dead even on supplies, but Trap is ahead of Gateway, and now he's ahead in Immortal as well, as both players build up their Warp Prism to go into the next stage of this. Wow, absolutely crazy stuff so far here in this PvP and neck fight. Thing is, again, though, if Trap goes home, he's exposing his Robo in one of his gateways, and so if he heads back home, that's something he's going to have to give up at some point here. And that would be real painful. A few more Adepts warping in, getting ready to press forwards up into the natural. Here we go. Trap going to start shading a few Adepts forwards, and it's going to be seen that pylon is going to get picked away at as well. So that's going to empower this gateway. Obviously the Warp Prism can warp in on top of that to get the warp in if he wants. Immortal now on the way down the ramp here from herO, so it's going to be evening up the kind of the units available on either side. And it really just continues to be this micro war as 2 more Stalkers warped in. Another Immortal Chrono Boost now. Again, just, I mean, having to siege up the Warp Prism just to warp in off that gateway in itself is very painful. And also having to warp in on the high ground unless that Warp Prism is in warp in mode. Depth shading around. There's another Immortal coming in from Trap. Still have 2 immortals together now. Looks like he'll load those up into the prism to help position them in the fight. And 2 more adepts. A lot of adepts here to kind of get in the front and tank. Feels like Trap just has an extra couple of units at the moment. Here we go. Immortal shots begin to trade. It's Trap's immortal that takes a few extra bits of damage though. Obviously pushing up the ramp is a little bit scary for him and a little bit dangerous. He'll get that gateway though, so again he is going to start really outnumbering his opponent when it comes to gateway units. Although immortal production continuing, and now Trap is up the ramp at least. That's one of the big things he was missing out on. He's going for the War Prism. Get rid of that micro potential. War Prism pushed away, but it is going to survive. He is going to be able to save the immortals one more time. As now herO will hold this high ground, but he will lose his Cyber Core. And he has no Cyber Core in the main. He's got 2 gates up in the main at least, which is something. So it's 2 gates against 3 still. So still down a gateway. Immortal's going to come towards you already. Going to jump on that other immortal. The War Prism of herO is out over to the left-hand side. A bit out of position. Now the immortal count's going to be evened up yet again. As Trap backs away for a moment or so. We'll come back into this fight. That War Prism of herO is so low. He has to be so careful of it. If you lose that, especially with the immortals inside, you are absolutely dead now. And just losing the micro potential takes away so much of this opportunity that remains in this game for herOs. Whoa, Trap now loses an immortal of his own. Pushes up this ramp. Can the Stalkers get on top of the War Prism? Not quite just yet. That one immortal goes down. The other immortal is super low from both players. This is still very close, but herO seems to have the army advantage as he will hold on once again. Still just a few units sat down on that natural observer. Coming to sit overhead. War Prism for 2 mortals in sight. Is going to start heading out to try and shut down the production here. Shut down this robot facility, shut down a gateway. Maybe just killing the pylon can be nice. And obviously these immortals are very safe because the War Prism can keep them alive as there's one picked up. And the other not quite going to be able to get the kill on that pylon. We'll try and drop down again. We'll get it. I mean, quite a bit of damage take on the immortals as now they head across the map. Empowered Robo, empowered Gateway. What do? You start to Chrono Boost out another immortal, but you're supply blocked. Waste of a Chrono Boost, huge supply block as well. I mean, that's just how crazy this game has been. So micro-intensive. Players are making some mistakes, and there is nothing at home. There's not even a recall. Oh my god, well, these 2 gateways are going to get picked off because the pylon's going to go down. There is absolutely no response for this. Another pylon building up now. Warpins are available, but that recall's still not here, and Trap is losing more and more units. Shield battery going to be killed. Okay, not quite. As the recall comes through, the War Prism is still heading back to the immortals as well. Actually, the War Prism is still trying to harass with these immortals, but herO has the numbers and will turn Trap away. Again, Trap unable to build off of these structures at the moment, is still not making any progress on that immortal. Absolutely just a ridiculous game of PvP between the 2 of them. But it feels like herO is going to be coming out, and now Jin-Air, all they're going to be able to hope for is potentially taking this to an ace match. If herO is able to close this one out, he is only going to need 1 more game to win out this series, and Jin-Air would be in so much trouble once again. Can you believe it? War Prism is moving around on the top left. Another Hallucinated Phoenix coming out across the map. Adepts, Stalkers, Sentries setting themselves up in the center. That War Prism from herO down the left-hand side as well. Hallucination will get taken down too. And again, the War Prism here from Trap wanting to press in towards the main base, but not quite able to just yet. We're going to head through into the main. A few sentries going to warp in from Trap here as well. Also nibbling away at that War Prism. So a little bit of damage being done. More continue to fight. The shield battery is able to keep those sentries alive at least, as herO not make much progress. The thing is, herO is definitely in a position where if an expansion comes into play, again, he's better off for an expansion because he doesn't have to keep on protecting this Robo out in the middle of the map. Trap is definitely not in a sort of position to do that, as well, now Trap's army is out of position as herO presses forwards. And this is going to be, I think, a denial on that Robo facility finally. And that's obviously going to be a huge part of this now. Of course, Will buys a little bit more time. Robo goes down before anything else is brought up. Fills off the pylon before the gateway because empowering it is already good enough. And obviously it goes down that little bit faster. In fact, even leaves the gateway alive. Trap's still moving around here and just going to be seeing Hallucinated Phoenix will go down. War Prism into the main. Now herO will recall that away. Brings his units back over. A 13-minute one-base game that's been just absolutely non-stop, and we are on the point of starting to mine out. Probes are going to have to start long-distance mining / nexus are going to have to be taken. You can see the probes are in position to take that nexus. The minerals are stacked up. both players know it's time to take that expansion to play this out even further. As sees this army hero, the trap moving forwards. I'm not going to have a recall though because the Immortals are back across the map. Hero is just so relentless with these, consistently just around dealing damage and picking off a couple of probes whenever possible. Resources lost, only a 300 resource difference. Units lost, you can see 6 Immortals lost from Hero. Trap kept his Immortals alive but wasn't able to build as many. This is actually just ridiculous. Hero has got a little bit of an army supply advantage though as he pushes across the map. A lot of sentries and a lot of energy on both sides, so this is going to be one of those games where it's a little bit like Reno Party, just force fields all over the place. We're setting up in the centers. We are going to be seeing the Hallucinate Colossus being brought in. Full Prism from Hero coming into the main base as well. And we are just going to be seeing the Prism taking a little bit more damage. Goes down already again. A couple more Immortals microing around. Hero's actually going to get picked off here because these Immortals are over in the main base, but he does shut down the pylons. So he's shutting down production again. What does Trap do? Trap's just going across the map. He kind of won the fight because of these Immortals being missing from it. So while Trap's taking a lot of damage, there is potential for him to do something back on the other side. However, he's pulling some units back to defend this, and obviously then Hero can just head home and perhaps potentially just bring these Immortals back into the fight anyways. So here you go, Hero going to defend the high ground. Trap, can he push up here? Nexus killed from Hero because he has to defend the high ground, so Trap is sort of turning this around at the moment. A couple of forces dropping down, Stalkers. Going to get killed off pretty quickly as well. And now we're going to be seeing this army try pressing up this ramp. We're going to be able to get a couple of these pylons, so a couple of pylons will drop down, and this is a real problematic position for Hero. Now he's going to have to pull probes into this. He's mined out of his main base as well, so not having an expansion is a huge problem. Trap having that expansion is absolutely going to be able to keep on building, and Hero has just lost this in the last few moments. He's made some mistakes, and it really is going to make it very difficult for him to recover as here we go. Immortals pushing down his ramp for depth. Sentries, Stalkers and Immortals trying to fight as well. Quite a lot being done as these Immortals continue to drop. It looks as though this is probably going to be pretty much GG. Trap has 32 supplied to the 15, despite losing pretty much all of his pylons at home. He won that fight, and that fight was huge as Jin will go on to match on loading screen already. Can't believe Trap was able to turn that one around. Now he only needs one more map to bring home a victory for Jin. A much needed victory because they are still trailing the bottom of the group, so another win would be big for them. It's the top right hand side, our blue Protoss player. Give it up for Jin. Green Wings, Trap. And to the bottom left hand side, our red Protoss is Hero from Triumphant Song Gaming. They are undefeated in the league so far. They might be about to take their first loss here. And if that's the case, we are absolutely going to be having this league completely open for anybody to advance in. Because if Jin win, they're going to be 2-1, so will Team LP, so will Triumphant Song. And tomorrow we're going to have some great matches as well. Don't forget, same time, same place for Invictus Gaming versus Player One and Ocean Gaming versus Newbie. Going to be some awesome gameplay coming up tomorrow. Players such as Special, Deer, Fantasy Party, Zest Time, Scarlet, and more going to be taking part. So getting this set up, getting this rolling, and two simulators coming down on each side of the map. A probe here from Trap heading down to the bottom left as well. As we are just going to be seeing those couple of gates coming on up and getting this ready to roll. Obviously a bit more of a standard setup this time around. No low ground gateways either. And so far no proxy, although we'll keep our eyes open for that in the near future, of course. Number 6 this PvP. Again, thank you so much for joining us today, guys. We are 50 followers away from 40,000. If you haven't followed the stream already, please make sure to do so. We've got loads of StarCraft planned for May and June. We're going to be streaming as much as possible until I leave for Korea. I'm going to Korea in the second half of June, followed by Home Story Cup. So I'm not going to be here the last couple of weeks of June. We're going to make May a big month. We're going to stream a lot. We're going to cast so much StarCraft. June as well. All of this China Team Championship, and then also followed up by the WardiTV European League as well. There's another couple events also dotted around in there. It's going to be fun. Thank you so much, Walgren78, for the $10 donation. Says, tough month. Yeah, take a contribution and keep up the good work. Has been a bit of a tough month. Just everything seems to be going wrong. I was ill. I've had family in hospital. It's been one of them ones where life just kicks you down again and again. But everything's on the up now. Thank you so much for the $10 and your generosity today. Really do appreciate it. Can we get some love in the chat for Walgren and the $10 donation? Thank you so much, dude. Really do appreciate it. All of the depths on the way out at the moment. And a couple of stalkers coming through from trap as well. Two stalkers heading down the bottom left hand side. Going to start poking away to the depths. Taking a little bit of damage. Now going to shade towards those stalkers also. So trap just going to recall out of that. It's a lot of adepts from here. It's a very aggressive opening. And with Phoenix on the way too, it definitely continue to be an aggressive opening. Pylon from herO cancels. Just wanted to see what was being built on the Stargate. Knows it's a Phoenix. So builds a Phoenix of his own, and this will turn into Phoenix versus Phoenix for a little bit. Another Phoenix being chrono boosted out. You see a little bit of a clash in the center here. Depths from herO and up in towards the center, moving towards the upper right hand side. Two more shield batteries on the way up as well. Again, just that Nexus dropping down from trap here, and the natural expansion too, so setting that up, getting that going. This Phoenix still on the way in at the moment, and still seeing what's going to happen next. The trap gathers up a few of his you can see on the natural expansion. Again, this time we will see expansions from both players, so already really developing this into a very different game than what we saw in our game, in our first game, between these two. With the facility on the way up in that main base, going to be seeing these few depths from herO. Still has 6 of them, so a lot of map control available to him there. He's going to drop a Twilight Council in the corner now. The idea from herO here is you get up at Dark Shrine. By getting up at Dark Shrine and hidden away, as Phoenix versus Phoenix continues, you kind of catch your opponent off guard without detection. But there's a Robo on the way from Trap. And so Trap will have the ability to go into an Observer here. And that's obviously going to be a huge part of this, to be able to then shut down those DTs. So that actually really nullifies a lot of this investment from herO. And puts Trap into a pretty good spot, actually. Again, Trap, his team, Jeanette, are up 3-2 at the moment, guys. And they're looking to try and claw out a victory, as we do have the depth here. Shaden was looking for some info, gets shut down pretty quickly. Phoenix in the main. Oh, herO's going to find a Phoenix of Trap. That's frustrating. It brings us down to 5 Phoenix apiece. Trap is also moving across the map, though, with his Phoenix. Cancels the Phoenix that was about to spawn. He's going to be able to get in and get quite a few probes. Gets the sentry as well. Recall comes in. He gets out of there in plenty of time. I like it. Although he is now down by 1 Phoenix, so those Phoenix fights will have to be more defensive from Trap's point of view. Dark Shrine still on the way up. The thing is here, did herO see the Robo facility? He did, so he's not going to know he can't be too reliant on just the he can't be too reliant just on the DTs to get damage done here. He knows there's an Observer available. It is out here, and it is actually heading across the map. So Trap, I mean, the bigger thing is that you can chrono boost out an Observer at a moment's notice, right? It's it'd be quite nice as the pylon follows DT walk-ins, setting up. Trap has a big army supply advantage at the moment as he's starting to press across the map, has a few Stalkers mixed in to help against the Phoenix. Phoenix looks like they're going to make a dive in towards the main base. This is going to get weird because DTs are going to warp in. There is going to be an Observer with the army as well. How do you do? I mean, it's kind of a weird little setup because we are going to see as well here, you know, Trap's going to be able to deal quite a lot of damage here because there's not much for herO at home at all. In fact, there's basically nothing for herO. These Adepts already going to get lifted up, pick off one of those for free, make that 2. Maybe make it another DT in the main base. Oh, well, you know what? This Robo is not actually powered by more than 1 pylon. So the Robo is going to get shut down here, and the Observer is going to be offline. Well, that's only frustrating because this Observer doesn't want to go home. However, Trap is going to get a lot of damage done. Oh, that Robo's not actually going to finish, is it? Well, again, he's got 1 Observer, and that's going to be absolutely crucial here. That one single observer that he already has out. Trying to just build up a pylon on either side. Robo still taking some damage. Pylons, if they finish, that Robo might just be able to get it out, as we do see this fight happening. Probes are pulled in from herO to try and survive. He's losing a lot. The pylon will come up, but the Robo dies. No more observer. But if you shut down these gateways, the observer can just go home with a recall. As long as herO is happy that he's done enough, his DTs will die at some point. Or Trap is happy that he's done enough. These DTs will die at some point of this. A few more of these probes are going to go down. Trap's just picking off as much as possible. herO, I think, is in trouble, because again, eventually there is just an observer available. Trap currently has a bunch of money that he can't really spend. Trying to build up DTs on gateways on the low ground now. His Nexus will fall. Phoenix count is 5 to 8, so herO has that advantage, but it's not really going to do much for him. It's only Phoenix and a few DTs against the 11 Stalks. It's a huge, huge difference. As the recall back home with the observer, one of the DTs is already killed. The other DT is going to get killed as well, right? So, I mean, should be able to chase that down. Oh, might get out. Just gets out. Phoenix coming in to kill a few of these probes. The Trap will lose some workers of his own. He's going to come in with the Phoenix to try and trade out a little bit. Phoenix for Phoenix. 16 probes to 15. But Trap does have an extra expansion. Having that natural up while it was killed off for herO. And obviously herO on a super low work count makes it difficult to recover and doesn't really have the army either. Just going to be seeing the army gathering up together, and herO going to go back into the main. Stalker's going to be able to deflect these. Phoenix push back into the center here. Another Stalker taking a little bit of damage. Phoenix here from Trap gathering up. That Stalker's going to get lifted and shut down. It's actually a really close fight at the moment, as we're going to be seeing a couple more probes on the way out from Trap as well. Just going to see main base getting mined from herO, but he's 7 workers down. It's just these Phoenix that are annoying, of course, but eventually they will just get... I mean, even if they don't get turned away eventually. Look at this. I mean, 2 adepts. That alone, there's nothing to deal with 2 adepts over here. These drop down, it's going to be even more probe kills. hero's going to fall even further behind. Already shading so you can jump on top of the probes if they decide to pull away. It's just going to be a recall of the Phoenix. This pulls the Phoenix back home. The adept shade down to the low ground. There's nothing here. Nex is still building. And Trap has to feel very good about his position. Rebuilding the Robo, there is still a Dark Shrine up, so threat of DTs is still available. So having the Robo is obviously a very good little something. I was going to see those 2 Stalkers picking the way at the pylon at the front here. So pylon, looks as though it will go down. Prism still hanging around the top left, but the Phoenix have split themselves up, and he will find this Prism. So Prism will die unless there's a recall in time. And there will be the rest in time because it was found by just a single Phoenix. Well, Trap 40 to 18 army supply. It's just a matter of, taking a fight basically. But as he warps in units, I think he's going to go across the map. I don't really see much of a reason for him to turn around this time. Let's see the Phoenix coming in, going to lift up a bunch of probes, but I mean, I think he knows, yeah, I'm going to lose probes, but I'm also going to kill a bunch of probes as well. His Observer comes out so he can defend against the DT as well. I mean, there's absolutely nothing at home here either, and there's already a DT with this, Observer, sorry, with this army, so DTs defensively won't work out too well either. The Robo's on the low ground, so herO, if he loses that Robo, will lose a mortal production, as the sentries will get killed by the Phoenix too. So the Phoenix still having a role to play for Trap, and that's going to be GG's. Generic Green Wings will take it 4-2. Very well played by Trap. Comes out victorious.